In short, the data strongly suggests that homogeneity stifles innovation. This finding is supported by a new study that found if a market is dominated by any one ethnicity, it tends to make worse decisions. Okay. And so, there is obviously a lot of data and also personal experience that says that environments that are open and inclusive foster better work environments and also better outcomes, right? So if we know those things, why aren't we doing a better job or trying harder to create these kind of workplaces? And in short, it's because we're biased. And when I say we, I do mean we, because I too am a human being. And human beings are biased by nature. There was a point in time where those biases, and I will say it is unconscious bias and also stereotyping, right? But there was a time when those biases were the difference between life and death, yay, evolution. But since we are not, at those times, we were not setting up businesses, we were not thinking about long-term viability, we were not thinking about how do we get the very best out of employees, because that wasn't even a thing. So now that we're here, we need to do better because we need more. Like our society, our businesses, we need to expect more from our brain. And it's not that, initially it's going to be very hard to de-bias, but that's not even the only way to start moving towards this. And I've highlighted the 4 biases that I think play a role specifically in hiring and how we got here. The first is affinity bias. And so affinity bias is defined by having an affinity or being biased towards people we have an affinity for. So we all have people that we like because they like the same things that we do, or we just get along very easily. And this bias can either lead us to thinking that maybe they're doing a great job when they're not. It can lead us to being hesitant to critique them when it's necessary. And again, critique is a thing that all of us, including me on this stage, need for growth. And it can also be a reason why we just give someone we like a job, right? And so sometimes we say, oh, well, me and this person just resonate and we're just on the same page. But if you dig a little deeper, you have to think, why do we resonate? Why are we on the same page? And is that even necessary for this person to be a good employee and to do a good job at their job? The in-group bias is being biased towards people that are in your group. So an in-group bias could be Drake fans. Drake fans could be an in-group bias. They're not all as nefarious as they can be, of course, having a preference for people of your race, gender, cultural background, but sometimes it's just like, this person likes this band that I do, this person likes the same sports team that I do, this person's from the US and I really love people from the United States. Then there is confirmation bias, where we ignore any information that does not fit our preferred view. So we have a view and we say, the sky is gray. And so right now the sky is not gray, it is sunny. But if I just ignored or put on sunglasses or closed my eyes every time I went outside when it wasn't raining, then I could say the sky is gray and mean it. Right? And so confirmation bias means every time I went outside and I saw the sun, I would be like, that's just a weird anomaly. When in fact it's not. That would just be me ignoring information that doesn't fit with my worldview or that I don't like. And then the last, which I think is really important, is our bias blind spots. And so that is you being blind to any biases that you have. And there are people who do very important work on gender equality, on racial equality, on LGBTQ rights, who have their own blind spots, right? And that's why I say literally no one should ever be above a critique, because you don't, me being a Black person doesn't give me the right to speak over or not see people with from the LGBTQ community who have different concerns than I do, and it is totally possible for me to do something that is crappy or oppressive or just wrong, and if that is the case, then someone should call me on it, right? Because my goal in general and in life is to be an effective and good person. And so I want a person, if they think I'm having a biased blind spot, to come up to me and talk to me about it. And so we should be open to having those conversations. And so these are the 4 biases that I see affecting us the most in hiring processes, and there are ways to navigate these biases. And that is what my next slide is about. All right, so we've got some solutions. The first thing always is you have to, before you can even look at solving a problem, before figuring out if you have one, you've got to take a comprehensive survey. And that's of anything. In this case, I recommend taking a comprehensive survey of your study. Take no ethnic background, know if they're LGBTQ or LGBTQ staff members that you have, note the gender of your staff, note their pay, right? And take this information for everybody that's on board. Because we can ignore things that we're not comfortable with. We can make excuses for ourselves, but numbers don't lie, they just are. And so you need to take a comprehensive survey of your company and figure out, what am I actually doing? Maybe you'll notice that the last 5 people in your company that got promotions were all men. Maybe you'll notice that you pay your men 20% more than you pay women staff. Certainly, Norway has the highest, you guys are number 4 on the list of gender equity as far as pay, but still there is a difference, right? For every dollar that a Norwegian woman makes, a man is expected to make $1.27, right? And so you're certainly doing